Hello, welcome to Win Some Loose More. My name is Dieter Loosemore. I'm joined again by my brother Rick for the two loose top 50. We are at 32-21, and the brand new games to the list continue. I've got three. It's been a busy
Ooh, one, two, three, four.
wow. It's yeah, it's a lot. Um, let's go. Let's go. Number 30.
Yep. I promise it's going to slow down after this list. Okay, number 30 is Space Base,
Nice.
a curious little game from John D. Clare where you roll two dice and you get a benefit for the outcome of those two dice. But you can choose, do I want to take, say, you roll a seven and a five? No, you can't roll a seven and a five, a five and a two. Do you want to take that as a seven or a five and a two? And you have a tableau that you're building up, and they get slowly better. But the real kicker is that you also score on other people's turns if you've been developing your on other people's turn tableau, which is kind of the same but separate. And there's like a little upgrade system that gets things from one to the other. And there's a lot of play in that space because generally the numbers from 7 to 12 are more valuable because they have to be got on two dice, but you could choose to just build up the ones that you know are going to come up more regularly. And it doesn't work particularly well at two players. There's a nice sort of dummy third hand thing that works fine. But I it's still it's one of those. I'm just like, do I love this? But it keeps staying in my collection, and I keep going. Kind of really enjoy that. It's kind of really interesting and really fun, and not um a lot of it's one that my wife likes to get out when we have people around because you can chat.
Sure.
It's not particularly heads down. It's eyes up. It's sort of okay. Oh yeah, no, the seven. Oh yeah, no, I'll take two coins. Thanks very much. Yeah, and as I was saying, it's that kind of game. It's
Yeah.
convivial. It's interconnected. It's fun. I don't love the production. I think AEG need to hire an art director, but it's good. It's fun. Number 30. And I think, let me just see. No, drop two places from last year. So pretty solid.
Nice. My first new game to the list. I was so excited at the end of the last video, but then I thought we would get a same number crossover. We didn't. You're 31, my 30 is Ra. The other Rhino Knizia auction game. Go back to see what Rick said about it last time. I will just say a couple of things on it. I do not have the all singing, all dancing production, and yet the production is impeccable.
Mm.
It's and the only real difference is the set collection tiles that you're drawing out of the bag are cardboard, not wood. The bidding tiles are still wood. The giant Ra piece, the moving across the sun piece, the everything else is still chunky as heck, and it's so tactilely satisfying.
Mm.
The other thing, I think you said, why can't I win this? You're very good at intuiting maths, and this game
Yes.
has no inherent value. Value
No.
values within the game. The game has
Yeah,
value.
yeah. Yes.
And I think,
Particularly my version, which also, by the way, has metal coins.
I apologize. That was worth
It's
60 extra pounds.
more value.
Um, um, and I think this is a game about reading people, not points.
Mm. Yes.
And that's not my strength, but so far I've only played with people that I know quite well. Um,
Mm.
and so it's almost that poker of what is this worth to you, not what it's
Yes.
worth. Like you said with High Society, which again, Rana Knizia auction game. He seems to capture
Yeah.
this
Yeah. Yeah.
social element, not what am I prepared to bid? Because I gave
Mm.
up on collecting high value suns, the bidding tokens for the end. I ended up with like a two, a five, and a six or something. And the other person had a nine and like the higher numbers, they beat me on that. But knowing that going into the third round, I was like, cool, then I'll just get all the stuff that I want and build the sets and shortchange you and invoke Ra at the wrong moment for you. I'm going to play it
Mm,
that way because yes, you're focusing on the wrong puzzle right now. I'm going to win at
yeah.
this. Um,
Yes.
and I think that's what the game invites you to do that again suits some people more than others at different times. That's, I think, the difference. Maybe we'll see. I need to play it more, but captured by it the first time. So, rah, 30.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like Space Base is an eyes up game.
Yes.
It's yeah, poker is a good um yeah, touch point. It's interesting. I played this with my parents and my eldest, and my dad won. Our dad won, and my mum came second, and I just beat my child. Um, because I'm terrible at. But um, but what was really interesting is that our mum, who is not Euro-y at all, and by her own profession was like, I don't care who wins this. She's not lit up by the theme, by the bidding, anything. But she was sat there going, "Well, you're not going to bid that. He's going to bid that." She was reading it from the room, and if she cared enough to try and win, she'd probably win the whole thing
Yeah.
because she could watch everyone else and go, I know what you're going to do. I know what you've got, and I can see your value in it. You want this. And I was like, wow, you're actually bizarrely the alpha gamer in this scenario. So this is why I don't think it's not. It's going to stick around in my collection because I think it's got something really special that Amun Ray that others don't because they really are just auction games that are good auction games. Ra is just some sort of magic that I can't quite put my finger on or win. All right, number 29 is a climber for me, bizarrely, the highest it's ever been, and it's gone from my collection. And I kind of just miss it. And it's one of these, another one. I'm just like, quite like that back. Meadow is beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely game, and I like the mechanic of it's in Quadropolis, though Quadropolis, which I now own again. Someone kindly donated it to my children, or as a long-term loan, we'll see. But that's all the way down at 84. Meadow is still hanging in there. It's got a lovely charm, and it's got the Quadropolis action of like you point with the number three, so you get the third thing in the row, and so it's got a bit of puzzle, and I really liked it actually. I just can't keep everything, unfortunately, but it's really nice, and particularly with the downstream expansion. I haven't played the new one because I've got rid of it before then. But yeah, that takes it up a nice little notch, that expansion. So good one. 29 Meadow.
My number 29 is also one that's no longer in my collection. I alluded to it last time. We kind of with the two-player games. This is where it has sat for a while. It was 28 2 years ago, 32 last year, so back into 29. I almost am worried that if I played it again, I would think less of it now because it's been so long. That is this just a nostalgia thing? This is Lost Cities. This is an
Oh no.
excellent. Is it just as good all the way? Yeah,
It,
that's what I think it.
hey, hey, it's Reiner Knizia. It's Eyes Up.
Oh, two in a
It's
row.
Glory.
Yeah, it is. And it was old when I first played it. So I don't think it's like, oh, a fresh new take on something. It's just that beautiful tension of, I can't get rid of this because this is the exact thing you want. And you've just
Yeah,
covered up the stack of things that I was going to take. How dare
yeah,
you? Just to make rows of colors. And really, you're only going to go for half of them. They're going to go for half of them. And the battle's going to be in the one in between.
yeah.
Um, but then the wager things of do you gamble and push your luck to play that first, but it costs you a lot of minus points to then maybe get double points later. It's great, great game. Great game. Always sits around here, Lost Cities.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about Knizia, and we're going to stop talking about him soon, I'm sure. But I think both of us have known about him and about his games for a long time. But I think this year, with just a few things, we like both suddenly got to grips with the fact that it's not just that he designs good games; he designs good games to play. Like that
Sure.
and it almost doesn't feel like it when you read the rules and like, oh, it's a bit mathsy, or you got this weird sort of minus points in Lost Cities, and what's all this about? And then you play it, and you're like, oh, I'm playing with you,
Yeah.
I'm playing with someone else, and I'm actually like, we're co sort of fighting, existing, whatever it is, and he creates that sort of play space almost like no one else. And I think you'd be happy with Lost Cities if you played it again.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure I would, but there's just that tiny fear in me.
28 we covered a little while ago because it was lower on your list. It was 22 for me last year. It was the first time we played it. It is Cat in the Box
Nice.
Deluxe Edition. So I don't think there's much more to say except that yes, ever want to play a trick-taking game based on Schrodinger's cat? Well, you can, and it's bonkers,
Yeah.
mind-bending, silly, and fun. It's really good.
Cool. My 28, you will never play, and if you did, you would hate me. This is the second new game on the list and first new game in this section of the list from the same universe. Um, this is Kinfire Delve. It's a series of games.
Oh,
There you go. This is if D&D were a 1 to 2 player card game. That's what this is. You are delving through a deck to get to the big bad, and if you've succeeded, it's a game of attrition to some degree. There are special powers. You do have a character, so you can sometimes heal and get cards back and do all this stuff. But you get to the end, battered and bruised, and now you have to take this big thing on. So it's a dungeon crawl in a deck of cards, which is so impressive. And each of the 3 boxes are different baddies, but they each come with 2 different heroes, so you can mix and match. So if this is your thing, this is really going to be your thing. There's a lot there for not a lot of stuff. There's a lot of game. So it suits me beautifully in Fire Delve.
and I can't talk, right? There's games coming up, at least one on this list that are not for you. Are
Sure.
for me, that's fine. But you say D&D and I go, ugh. You
Mhm.
say 1 to 2 player, ugh. You say deck game, ugh. You say dungeon crawler, ugh. Death. But that's okay. Number 27, one we can agree on, this is new to the list for me, is Castles of Burgundy. We talked about this before on your list. And again, I bought the special edition partly because I got a damaged edition on um, Chaos cards or something like that. And Chaos cards,
Damage.
I've often bought damage things from them, and it's like no damage. So I'm like, I'm going to take the punt. I really enjoyed it. It's a game that I've not quite got round to, partly because it is ugly as sin. And my wife was like, she's never going to play this because it's just too hideous. I mean, I can barely look at it, and she's much more aesthetically driven than me. And then, yeah, Awaken Realms made this really good one. And I so enjoyed it, and I so wanted to keep it, but they have overproduced it, and it's just too big and too much. And I couldn't justify the shelf space. It just wasn't worth it. So yes, I totally agree with you from before. What is this? It's a dice uh, drafting, no, sort of dice
Inflection.
placement game, sort of
Yeah.
yeah, engine buildery, point salady, Euro-y to the most zenith of Euro-ness game that's just really, really, really good and really, really fun. And I liked a lot, and my kids liked as well. But yeah, someone please develop a box that's about the size of a thick laptop and with not hideous art, and I will buy it immediately.
That's really all it needs. Oh,
Yeah.
driving nuts. My number 27 has gone up, having not played it and not owned it in years, was 33, 34, and I tell you, I know exactly why it's gone up because it's in my brain more thanks to you. You mentioned a company last time, CMYK, have done such a charming reprint of the now just called Quacks, formerly Quacks of Quedlinburg. And I loved this when I owned it. I believe I traded it for Meadow for you. So that's linked across. But seeing the production of what CMYK have done with it, the morph looking art, um, so charming. And I love this game. I love it. It sometimes comes up at group, and I will always sign up to it if it does because
Yeah.
it's a push your luck. Again, you mentioned that a couple of times now, that push your luck of just pulling stuff out the bag. Maybe you'll go bust. Maybe you'll get it right. Maybe just that one more, because if I get that one thing, then it'll pull that. And I know I've got a yellow one in there, which lets me do this. And
Mm.
just that the different colors doing different stuff. I have favorites because it just works that way. You just find a play style that works for you, and so you invest in that. But then they've each got different sides of the book, versions of what that power is, so it can be different each
Yeah, yeah.
game. Great, great game. A little bit harder to teach than I want it to be because there's
Mm.
seven things to learn. Um, but
And I mean, they do sort of roll as they go. They do introduce themselves quite nicely, which is good. But yeah, I think there's a couple of things which just there's an economic aspect to it. It's like, oh, okay, what do we do with that? There's just a couple of things that maybe yeah, it just nudges it ahead of a I don't know, Ticket to Ride or something like that. So yeah, but great game. Okay, number 26 for me. Another dice placement for me, but a lot more dice rolling. This is a game that was 23, then 46, now back up to 26. Maybe because I got expansion, maybe just because of playtime. It's Fantastic Factories, which,
Casualty gone for me. Gone.
yeah, I could see it being gone for me as well, but I quite like it. I kind of roll some dice and I do some stuff with dice and then do it again and sort of race people to see how efficient I can be. And it's got a really fun art style and
Mm.
decent sized box. And yeah, I like it. And I'm looking forward to the time when my kids can play it. I don't think they've quite got the sort of the quick enough maths to be able to, or not even maths, but just sort of decision space to be able to just get on with it. It's not against the clock or anything, but it is kind of a you need to yeah you need to make some discrete choices. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to teaching them. I think it's really fun, and the expansion adds some stuff, little bit of asymmetry, a new resource that's easy to throw in. So yeah, very very good. Like it a lot.
Yeah, 96 for me. Um, but my 26 is one of the ones I mentioned at the very beginning of this run that there are a couple that I'm like, oh, that's a little bit higher than I was expecting. I
Mm.
think it warrants it, and you'll wax lyrical about it later. But I've only played it once this year, and it was a good play. Um, but it sticks in my brain, and I bought it, which I didn't expect to do. This is Heat, Pedal to the Metal. 42 last
Oh,
year, up to 26. I think it should be in the 30s. It will probably settle around there because race games aren't my thing. But if I'm going to play one, this is a banger. Um, so good. That legend system of where the cars just do their own stuff, it's so easy to manage. It's so easy to manage. Um,
yeah.
the asymmetricizing, nope, of your deck at the beginning, if you want to use the different engine upgrades and
Mm.
stuff to make that just, I mean, why wouldn't you? You have to have played it, I think, to have understood it enough to know
Yes.
what's good and what's not, or what works in your play style again. Um, just so much fun.
Hmm.
Hate pedal
Hmm.
metal.
Yeah, it feels like a proper race game. It's got push your luck, and all those things you talked about, legends, and the garage expansion, all like that's all in the base box,
All in the
and
box.
the championships and that kind of thing. The expansions, I don't. The first one I liked, the second one I was ho hum on, but the central system is a very good race game. Very good. Very good. Right, number 25 for me has dropped from number 10. I think that was probably a surprisingly high entry last year. It was 14, then 10, now 25. This is what my mother professes to have been better than no thanks, which is Scout.
She's wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong. I think, and my list would prove probably, maybe that. I'm not sure. We'll see. Scout is a game. Is it a trumping game, if you like? So, for me to beat you, I need to have four of a kind or four in a row because you've got three cards, and I can help play it higher. But I could take one of your cards and sort of add it to my hand. The real kicker of the thing is a bit like with Bonanza, we didn't mention this ages ago. You can't change the order of your hands. At the beginning, all the cards are two-way up. It could be a nine and a three or a six and a five. You can play your hand one way up or the other way up. And you also can't, and you can't move stuff around. So you could, oh, I've got a five and a five and another five here, but it's stopped by a four and a seven. Can I find a way of getting rid of that four and a seven? So I've got five and a half. Lot of hand management, a lot of yeah, sneaky play, and you want to try and get all your stuff gone before everyone else because then you'll get points and you'll get their minus points and so on and so forth. It's a sneaky little easy game. Love Oink's production. They're so small and well thought out, good art style, nice quality materials. So Oink Publishing, really, really good. But yeah, Scout, I really, really like. Number 25.
Yeah, up to 66 for me. Each play
Hmm.
just brings it up that little bit more. My number 25, my third new game and the second in the Kinfire. Now, this is probably
Oh
my
no.
top Euro game of the year, comfortably. And I think if you could swallow your pride, you would really like this. No, didn't think you would. You would really like this. If I took out all theme, you would really
Mm.
enjoy the
Yeah,
mechanics of this. It's so good, and the production. It's based in a city. It's like Waterdeep for the modern age. Is that what people
sure.
talk about? More depth, more complexity, more intrigue, but
Mm.
set in a three-stage city, and so the board itself is on three physical different levels. So you get to see
Mm.
but so it just invites you into this world. It's the third in the Kinfire universe. There's Kinfire Chronicles, which was the whole reason I got the Kinfire stuff in the first place, and that's nowhere near my list. That was the one I wanted, and it's these other two have sung for me beautifully because for
Mm.
a small and accessible kind of adventure game, this is a sprawling Euro game of going to a different city just to get resources, to cash this thing in, to do this, to fulfill this contract kind of thing, whilst stopping this bad thing, whilst building the lighthouse over here. Like it's just so Euro-y, but the component quality is exceptional. The art style is very me, very me. Not the photorealistic, welcoming fantasy art style, but
Sure.
still good. Um,
I mean, I don't. I appreciate the art style on Kinfire much more than I do a photorealistic
yeah,
magic or whatever. I think I do think it has that, and I like their font, and I like this. So often when I see it on like sales pages or whatever, I'm like, oh no, it's Kinfire again. So it's yeah. I like, yeah, I possibly would enjoy it. I really didn't like Wars of Waterdeep. I did play that recently, and I didn't think it was for me. And I thought, no, I will put my bias against Dungeons and Dragons to one side. I just didn't think it was a good Euro either. So, but I'm sure I could live with it. But
and you
yeah,
can
they
specialize
do good art.
workers in this, which I think is a cool little addition for a worker placement game.
Hmm. All right, 24 for me is about as Euro as you get. Um, this is new on the list for me. It's not new on the list for anyone else ever because this is 18 years old. Um, I'd never played this before because I think, like I mentioned something else, uh, like Castles of Burgundy, ugly as sin, hideous, unapproachable. And then Awaken Realms put out, like with Castles of Burgundy, a new edition, which I go, that's not so ugly. And there's questions about AI art, and all those things that, yes, are complicated. Um, but they made a version of Agricola that looked palatable. Okay. And I'm sure I'm upsetting many, many people when I say that the original was unpalatable. Couldn't even play it. And so then I asked to play the original with a friend to see if I could back it, whatever, this kind of thing. I love this game. I love this game. And can I say that actually I tried to play this game many, many, many years ago when I was first getting into the hobby. At that point, I'd basically played Ticket to Ride and Bonanza. And I was like, oh, what's the number one on Board Game Geek? Oh, Agricola. That looks quite good. And I was like, I don't understand these rules. I didn't understand it at all. Now I'm actually like, this is fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
You know, you do this, okay, do that action, okay, fine. And you're working towards, oh, you got a nice hand of cards. They do different things. This is a really, really good game, and I'm really looking forward to having the Awakened Realms version of it. I worry that it's going to have the same problem for me as Castles Burgundy did, which is that it has too much bloat and that it's going to be too big a box to live in. So I'd still quite like probably the same thing, large laptop size version of a decent game, rather than one that looks like Euro games from the 90s and would old fashioned then. You know, that's what the original looks like. But in and of itself, it is a really tight, brutal worker placement game with huge amounts of variation by 14 cards that you get different ones each game and they do different things. And I'm so looking forward to really, really playing it and playing it because the little I have played it, I was like, this is. I understand now why everyone has been banging on about Agricola the best part of 2 decades because it's a very good game. Number 24.
Uh, my 24 is also just an undeniably great game. It was 13, it was 12, it's now 24. That's just the shuffle of things and probably lack of play, to be honest. I was playing it a lot in the 2 years previous, because before that, I think it was lower than this, even 30s probably. The game, Ticket to Ride Europe. I've got the lovely, lovely, lovely edition. The
Hmm.
trains are beautiful and everything's in tins and just a proper Days of Wonder production. Um, just undeniably good. I don't care
Yeah,
what your level of gaming is. This is a great game. Play it. And it's really cheap at the
play it.
moment. Are they going to do a new version? Like, what's going on? It's half the price in most places.
Yeah, no, great. I think just because everyone's got it already.
Well,
Yeah. All right, number 23 for me has climbed 2 places. But last year was the lowest it's ever been. I haven't played it in quite some time now. And I've actually just moved it on because it's kind of difficult to get to the table because you need 8 people that are willing to do 4-on-4 real-time battleships. Captain Sonar, the most fun you can have with a dry white marker.
so
Although I have just been playing the new Hobbit game that you gave my daughter, which is quite fun with a dry white marker as well. I've enjoyed that.
56
Um,
for me.
but mm,
56, just out,
56,
just out.
just still one of the best memories we've ever had in board gaming ever.
Yeah.
Um, you are playing on opposite sides with they're on your team. Everyone's got asymmetric powers, but you're the same as the person opposite you. So the radar operator is listening to the captain on the opposite team to try and figure out where you are. The first mate is trying to charge up all your power systems, and the engineer is just trying to keep the ship alive while all this is going on. And all of this just done with a dry white marker, and all happening in real time. And yeah, I mean, we said some of these games on this list have been eyes up. This is eyes down, and but very stressful, very emotional, very sort of tense game. Um, and there's nothing else quite like it in the whole blooming world, which is why it stays up here, even though I don't know if I'm ever going to play this again. Number 23, Captain Sonar.
Yeah. It's only just fallen out for me, and I've played it once, and it's just burned such a memory in my brain. Um, my number 23 is the beginning of a trend. The first in a long list of Stonemaier games. This was number 18 last year. This is Apiary. I've played it again a couple of times, got the expansion. It just works for me. Just works for me.
Yep.
Four is much better. You've only played it at two. It is its weakest at two because of the work of
Sci-fi.
bumping system, which works really
Yeah.
well to dial up the strength of your workers to then eventually do this crazy action which retires them, which is good because then you're scoring for area control, like Cat in the Box. Why is there a weird little area control game going on? But there is. But it's a worker
Mm,
placement, quite a standard one, but just enough little touches here and there that go, it just works really well. And
mm,
space bees should not be fun, but there's a charm to it, or you can ignore it. Like it's not in your face. It just
yeah.
works. Apiary.
Mm. I do need to. I can't judge this. Can't judge this. It came off my shortlist, but partly because I just can't judge it. I have not played it enough at different player counts or what have you. All right, number 22 is new to the list and is some of the reason that Captain Sonar has dropped a little bit because this is a slightly mathsy party game that I haven't really played because I'm always playing the ninth player
Yeah,
in Ready Set Bet,
sure.
and I told you if you can have Kinfire, I can have this. All right, so I know this won't be for you,
It won't be.
but it's for me. This is live, real time betting. See why it's a totally different game to Captain Sonar, but like that sort of real time, you need to have the right crowd to play it, and up to 8 people, though nine. One person, me, is rolling 2 dice and moving horses accordingly. So, you roll a 5 and a 2, the 7 horse wins. That's the most likely horse to win. If you play Catan or any other thing else, you know that number 7 is the most likely horse to win. But there's a little trick because if the six and the eight moves, or the eight moves twice in a row, they get an extra one bonus. If the four or the no, the nine or the five maths moves twice, they get a two space bump. And all the other ones, they get a three space bump. And so it's sort of like, yes, it's still got a bell curve, but the bell curve's a little bit flattened. And also, the odds, by the way, are all reflective of that. It's hard to make money on the seven because he's the clear favorite. So while one person's rolling these dice, and by the way, trying to announce commentary, like here comes number seven, he's running down the course, he's doing really fast, and I'm trying to do my best sort of race at my house. Yeah, you need someone who's good at that. Me, who can read dice very fast, who can make jokes on the fly, who can keep people engaged and go it. And by the way, as the rules get slightly more complex, then wherefore you get an extra side bet on that one, my friend. It's for you. You've got to try and pick up your one over there. Yes, it goes on. Me. Everyone else has a huge, and I have the huge version with the roll mats and the big board and the big horses and everything. Huge, like what's the game, roulette table sort of
Sure.
thing, with the bets for all of these things, and you're throwing down your chips on what you think is going to win. If you don't win, you pay some minuses. If you do win, you get lots of money, and it's a betting game. And it does what it says on the tin, and we a slight question about my job, by the way, is a pastor of a church, and people are like, my wife says, "Should we be teaching the church to gamble? Should we be teaching our children to gamble?" And I played this one time with one of our friends, with a group of people from church, and they went, "This is coming on the church weekend away, yes, yes, good, yes." And so, so in the middle of the afternoon, we just had a big, gambling session. I don't play it. I don't do the gambling. I just call the horses, and I make a big point that gambling is not a good idea at the beginning of all of our races. And it's fun to do. Number 22, ready, set, bet.
You're not going to like what I'm going to say. Can read dice quickly, will make jokes quick on the side, and can generate a running narrative.
No,
That's why
no,
I play
no, no, no.
D&D.
I think I'd be very good at that. I would just, hate myself forever.
Just saying. My number 22.
I think I would be a good dungeon master, but it's just not. I just don't care.
Sure. Um, Finding the right theme and setting is important. My number 22 is up 18 spaces. This is the other one that I think, oh, interesting that this is here. Um, but I don't hate it as a result.
Mm.
This is trekking through history, which
What?
shouldn't be here, but is I love it every time I play it. And I foolishly bought it at an incredible price. I'll never see it at that price again. Bought it. The production has a neoprene mat and proper, like, decent chips and all this production it should not have. And I it just sat on the shelf for a bit, took it to our parents' house. They played it, and Mum was like, "Oh, do you mind if we hold on to this for a bit? You're not going to play it." I was like, "Yeah, sure." And it's now just their game. No, in fact, I played it with them first camping because neoprene mat's great for it. And it's just so simple. You're just taking in turns to draft a card from a river. So, it's worse the further away, or it gets better, but it costs more potentially further away it is to get different resources on it to fill out a little grid. But the numbers that you take, again, you want them to go in ascending order from oldest in history. You're time traveling. Yeah. Um, Going on a trek through history, and you start as early as possible and work your way along until you can't because just the way the decks come out, and each round has a different deck, which again starts back at the beginning to some degree. So when do you do that to close off that trek, flip that over, start a new one from an old time to work your way forwards again? Because as many cards are in a trek, that's more and more points, plus filling out little bonuses going on underneath. It's an incredibly simple game, really. I know I didn't explain it, making it sound simple, but it is. Um,
Mm.
Beautiful production for what it is, and just sings for me. There's just a charm and elegance and simplicity to this game that I really think certainly your oldest, maybe even your middle, would are at a point of being able to play this and having a lovely time with it. And there's on the back of the history cards, there's information. If you want to learn stuff, it's there as well. The art is beautiful. Trekking the World, I have played. Again, the art and the information's nice. It's just not as good a game as this. This is a great one for me, trekking through history.
The normal version is neoprene.
Yep, the only version.
I'll have to dig it up. I'll have to hunt it down. All right. My number 21 is a new game. Um, and this is one that I've been surprised how much I like. I taught our father. I'm fully expecting him to tut and roll his eyes at the giant Barad-dûr dice tower. This is Lord of the Rings: Fate of the Fellowship, which you and I played online. They did
Yes.
a sort of demo mode on whichever board game arena. And I thought it was fine. And I played a lot of Pandemic, and I was like, that's fine. I don't need to play Pandemic Lord of the Rings. And then I think you cajoled me into buying it. And I have played it, and I think it's actually rather special. I think that what Matt Leacock has done within, and this isn't with the pandemics, by the way, because that obviously may be somewhere else. Um, what Matt Leacock has done within the sort of framework of pandemic is create amazing thematic scenarios. And we got to the end of the game, and our dad said, "Well, you really have to know the book to have been able to make that game because it's book based, not film based. The art is new, is different to any art you've seen in Lord of the Rings before. I think it's fine." Um, but he was like, you can see, because I do what I do with everyone. We play some scenarios and it's kind of fun, and I show them all the others. Like, wow, there's a whole bunch of stuff, and you randomly they're different objectives, and this kind of it has some of what I said a little bit earlier about oh, what was the other one? Daybreak that came out this year as well, last year. It has a little bit that swinginess. Sometimes things can just go against you in a way that Pandemic's that a little bit cleaner. But what it has, like, yes, theme in spades, but also some mechanics that I just haven't seen before. That so when you turn over the bad stuff deck, it's not always put infection cube or orc onto the board. Sometimes it's move stuff around, and that's determined by what's on the back of the last cut of the card that's coming next. Fascinating. And so sometimes you're like, oh great, we've geared up for that. But and there's intersecting paths the way things go. And I've seen a lot of complaints about like, oh, I couldn't read it, it's too hard. I think it's absolutely fine. People need to get over it. But also what it means is like you can have a load of orcs going this way, and then suddenly they get caught up with this army and that kind of thing. And so the game is a little bit unpredictable, which is great and really is thematically appropriate. And the other thing that I really really like about this, and if to give a shout out, I think Shut Up and Sit Down's video review of this is absolutely bang on. But they mentioned this point: it's a rare Matt Leacock game where it's better at multiplayer
Sure.
because normally you have two people and you can sort of go, well, if you go with me and I'll go with you and us can you can beat the game. This one, the more people you have, oh, I haven't even mentioned the fact you have two players. You have two characters. Everyone has two characters, which is in normally I'm like that's a faffy thing to do. One person has four actions, the other person has one action. But it means this time, oh, that person's going to do more stuff. This time he hasn't got so much to do. He'll recruit one guy, and but then the more players you have, actual players, you can have up to 8, 10 people on the board, and then they all have little team ups, like in Lord of the Rings, where Gimli and Aragorn run over here, and then Sam and Frodo run down here, and so on and so. And it's something special, and I think you really need to play this and play it properly. You'd like it a lot.
From a fantasy war to a real one, my 21's been on the list for a few years. It's how I introduce it every time, but it's probably our dad's favorite game. Was 19 last year, so about the same. This is Memoir 44. We've slowly helped him accrue a cupboard full of this stuff now. Lots of different settings, lots of different battles that happen around, and it just works really well. Um, and just keeps sitting on my list, partly for that connection to it. The system is really good and it is a good game. I don't know if it's this good a game, but it hits a place for me. I was going to say emotionally. It's not what I mean, but it has a sentimental connection. Um, uh, Pretty much every time I go down, we'll play at least a couple of games of it. doing something we've not done before, using one of the expansions, the Pacific Theater or whatever it might be, throw something in, see how that affects it. We have tried the planes, like there's just a lot to explore, and he likes understanding and recounting some of the history and why the variable setup is the way that it is, and why it's more likely that this outcome happened. So
Mm.
it just works really well. And at the end of the day, it's two grown men playing with toy soldiers, and there's just something lovely about that. Um, I'm I'm keen to try the Star Wars one. I think that would be a fun twist on it, but it wouldn't necessarily have the same depth. Yes, Star Wars has very much its own lore and stuff to explore there. But I think the historicity of Memoir 44 itself is a selling point if that's something you're interested in. So that is my 21, and now we're so close, only two sets left. So next time we'll be back for the top 20, 20 through 11 before doing our box reveals for the top 10. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again next time. I've been Dieter. This is Rick for Winsome Loosemore. We'll see you again. Bye.